Hey guys, my name is Cynthia and I'm here today with my friend Jerry, and I wanted to interview him after our past weekend run of Run for the Dreams. You all may or may not know that Run for the Dreams is a race that goes on here in Shelbyville, and this was its 6th year happening. It was started by Tommy Kendall, and it is to raise money for children with terminal diseases, and it's to help create their wishes. And so it's a fundraiser, and it was a lot of fun. But Jerry ran the race this year, and he actually ran it last year as well. But This year, Jerry broke the record for the 12-hour time. And anyway, tell us about it, Jerry.
About breaking the record or just running?
Just running. Just started from the beginning.
No, actually, it was like, it really didn't start off that way because we were, when I started running, first we were talking about, head first and getting content and doing, podcasts and that kind of thing. So really it started off as we were just running loops because I think you are still setting up and we didn't have the recorders or whatever. And so first I thought, well, I'm just going to get a good, 5 loops, about 10-mile run in because I'm not training for anything. So usually my Saturday and Sunday runs lately have been, 10, 15 miles or whatever. And then after that 10, I think maybe you guys were still setting up. I'm not sure. I didn't get the, or maybe I had the recorder. But anyways, I was like, okay, I'm going to do 5 on, 5 off. And so then you get to 20, and then I thought, well, I'll just make a marathon out of it today, And then, you just kept going. It was more like mind games. I guess as I thinking about it now is like I just kept playing these mental games. So I think in general the whole race was a great training or practice in mental, endurance, because it is a 2-mile loop, and I'm not a big fan of loops, but I think Red Orchard has enough variety. You don't really get too tired of it. It's, I really, I think about the folks that do the tracks, the 48-hour records, and I think that's just amazing because it seems like it's just such a mental feat, to go around a 400-meter track for 48 hours.
It'd be hard to do that, or it's hard to even imagine. And actually, when you think that running a loop is easier, sometimes it is much harder because you're doing the same thing over and over and over.
Well, and Red Orchard's not got like massive hills or nothing, but there's enough rolling hills. It's, after your 15th loop, you start, you're like, oh, here comes the hill, even though it's not that big, but there's some good little climbs there, but it's not locally, it's not like a Jefferson Memorial, Siltstone or Scotts Gap, but still it's like I said, as you keep going around, you start dreading those little bumps. But the more the mental aspect of it was, I was like, okay, so I'll 2 more or 3 more loops will be a 50K, and then I think one point I came through and Todd was Todd Hetty was keeping up with the our loops, and he's like, oh, you've gotten 30, you'll be able to do 60 easy. And I was like, oh, well, I don't know about that, but anyways, we were going, and some reason that number stuck in my head, the 60 mile, and I don't know why I thought that was the record. But anyways, as I kept running, I thought, well, I think at one point I was kind of doing the other mental aspect of it was math. It's kind of like, well, I'm 30 miles. I forgot what time that was. I think I did that. I think I was at probably a 50K at like maybe 6 hours, or I don't know if I guess it was because it was about halfway through, and I thought, well, I got 6 hours. It's about, if I start easing up, that's, 2 loops an hour, that's 4 miles. And so I was like, well, that's another, I'll get 50, or maybe I'll do that. And so, he kept going, and then the whole part of the, the record part was, for the whole time I thought it was 60 miles. And then one point Todd's hollering, he was like, you can make, I was like, because I asked him, I said, 55, right? Because there's one point in the last hour of the race, there's like a 1/4 mile mark, you go back, and you can just kind of go back and forth, And I'm not sure that, you may be able to hit on exactly what that's for, but I think part of it for the race director, it kind of keeps everybody tight, who's going to finish, you're not out on the loop maybe. But it's also nice in a way for the runner, because where we're going back this 1/4 mile, it's shady, it's flatter, but but there's part of me at the time when I was doing that, I was like, I should just go on and do the loop, because it's almost more monotonous than just going around. But at the same time, you're thinking, well, I may be able to eke out, an extra mile or two, because I really think I had enough time we do it the last hour, so I had time to do 2 more loops. So that was going to be my 56 miles, and I just thought I was fine. I didn't know anything. Like I said, the whole time I was thinking it was 60, and I guess that was from earlier in the day. And then Todd was hot. Want to go again? Go back. The record's 56 and a half or something like that. And then so I did that, and then there was a .1 mark because there's people who out there who want to just do a marathon.
Right. So you have that .1. So you go out .1 and come back. You have .2.
Yeah,
so
for your
you can
marathon.
Do 13 loops in that .2, and you have a marathon. So it was actually pretty perfect. It's pretty cool though, actually, at the last lap to have it there, because what we had thought about doing is, and Todd actually did, was mark every 1/10 of a mile around that 2-mile loop. So on the last loop, you could just stop where you were if it got to 24 hours and you remembered where you were, and that's the time we gave you. But then you still had to come back to the start. So really, you had to finish the loop anyway. So it just made more sense to do it on that 1/4 mile loop at the end.
Right. Yeah, and I guess part of it, I mean, I don't, obviously it's your manpower, but I guess technically, like this year, what was really a nice addition, and I don't know about in years past, but you had the water at the top of the hill, and was that roughly like 1.2 miles or a mile, like if you once you got to that? So I guess if you had the manpower, you could have someone up there, so whoever makes it up that far counts a mile.
Right.
If if you're going to do that, but I don't know. I mean, part of it's kind of neat that you have to get around the loop, but I think, the record break, that's fine and dandy. It's okay. I think that'll get broken, especially in you get a mild year if we, in August. I'm not sure if we will, but I mean, the weather ever cools off, I think you're going to have some good numbers there. I mean, but the relay team. Was that?
Oh my gosh, the relay did awesome. The relay team at nighttime. So this race, you can do a 12-mile. It's a 12-hour. So you could do 12-hour in the morning. You could run 12 hours at night, or you could do 24 hours, or you could do a relay. So there were like 3 different relays, but the 12-hour relay at night were a group of kids from Western Hills in Frankfurt, and they ran 72 miles. And actually, they didn't even finish out the whole 12 hours. They did, I think, 11 hours.
72.
Yeah. I mean, they're young, but they did really good.
The day relay, they were doing 24, right?
Right,
and
right.
They did how many miles with the winner?
They did 140.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think the winner did like 140, which is a lot. I've thought about that. That is a lot of miles to make in 12 hours.
Yeah.
Or 24 hours. And but they did really well, and they continued on. So, yeah, I think it's kind of a fun concept to do that. It's not.
Would it actually be neat? Was that the father and son that did 140, or the other team?
That was the other team.
Oh,
the father and the son, though, did quite a bit too.
Right. Okay.
And the neat thing, which we just got to say this about the
112.
father and son, because the race is actually to raise money for the Dream Factory, and so this father and son, which the son looked to be in high school, I think he was young, but they're traveling around the country and trying to do a different event in every state. Mm-hmm. And they're not all running events. Some of them may be like a Tough Mudder or something. So they chose it, and they're raising money for some charity. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of their race, they came up to Todd, and they said their goal for raising money on this was $2,000. Well, they had made extra money, so they gave it all to the Dream Factory, which was really a neat thing to do.
I was just thinking you might look at their splits. Are you sure I might not have the record?
They were a relay.
I know, but if you look at their individual
splits.
Oh,
no. Well, they didn't. They were 12 hours.
The little guy, the son might have got the son might have had 70 and he had 42. So there you go.
No. They weren't the two that ran that long. It was a different team, an adventure team, which is actually pretty cool because they were adventure races. Yeah. So the race, I think, actually is a good training ground for any race that you may want to do in the future, or to
absolutely.
Test your mind, or to
food. Light. If you do at night, your headlamp. Mm-hmm. But I think with what I really like about the race, which it's Run for Dreams, 24-hour Run for Dreams, mm-hmm. right? Is the title. It's amazing in our we're in Shelbyville, Kentucky, and the community is small. I mean, I think Shelby County is still 50,000, 60,000. But what's even kind of neat like that is like the number of runners in the community is even smaller, and then the number of runners who do marathons or ultras is even tinier. And it's kind of neat to think that, you know, on this one day in August, because all the, you know, and you may know more about, you know, who, but I think we had somebody from Chicago. I know there was Nashville. You know, I don't know, that's not too far, but there's been plenty. I think last year, I remember people come from.
The guy came from New York that set up the tent. I mean, people come from all over.
Yeah, I think there's some. I think there's a California, like the.
Well, and the lady Francesca, this lady.
She's from Nashville.
Yeah, she's from Nashville, but she's from Italy.
True.
And it's just interesting, the group of people that you meet. And this year, another thing that was really cool is the Shelby County. I guess it was the junior high track team or
it's
track
Collins,
team.
West Middle.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was the West Middle cross country, but they'll be in Collins. You know, as far
It was
as high
neat.
school.
They came out. David and Michelle Vest brought their group out, and the kids came. A lot of their parents, and they ran the course and just donated money to the Dream Factory.
Yeah.
So
You had
that added to the race.
Some did
quite a
like
bit.
4 miles or so.
Some of them did more.
2 loops, 2 or 3.
Emma Kendall, who happens to be 12 years old, did 32 miles. Yes. Tommy told her she could only do. Her father said she could only run 10. So then she power walked. He said, "But you can walk all you want." And she power walked all night.
And now Tommy Kendall, he's the founder of the race, and he works for the Drink Factory.
Yes, he works for the Drink
and
Factory.
And so he started the race 60. I mean, he started on. I mean, I guess if you guys, the head first has always been involved, but this year y'all took more of a management role of it. So, but yeah.
Tommy had a baby, and has life, and so we just helped him out.
Right.
Yeah. So it's really cool. It was really cool.
It's a great race. I mean, it really is. You know, and like I said, I think it could. There's enough room for it to double in size. Like today, I was out. You know, I walk out there with my dog and stuff, and I was just looking at the flat area that we can't, or people set up tents. You set up your grill, and which the food is always good. So you know, it was. I think I forgot.
Come and eat. If nothing else, we drink and eat.
Yeah.
We do have sports drink, but I usually have beer.
Right.
Holy City beer, which we are drinking right now.
Yep.
What are you drinking, Jerry?
I got the overly friendly IPA.
It's pretty good. I'm drinking the Madam Basil.
Yep.
Which is also very good. So
now, what is
that?
What is Madam Basil? What kind of?
Oh my
flavor?
gosh! It's a.
What's that say?
My eyes are pretty bad.
Oh, it's a saison with the basil. Okay.
Oh my gosh,
that's good.
it's really good. Yes, I like this.
But like I said, I was thinking about the far as the food that was really good. Like my first meal was a foot-long hot dog. I don't know what it was. I
meant to buy little hot dogs because I thought the kids eat. Because my friend Alicia always tells me my kids will eat hot dogs. You need to cook hot. So I bought these hot dogs. Well, they were foot-long hot dogs.
Yeah,
I was like,
they were good.
Oh my God, they were huge.
Then I had a some kind of chicken, like pulled pork chicken sandwich, which was really good. And then I think our last one was a burrito, and it was one of those big, like fat as your head burrito thing. It was really good.
I love to make burritos, but we also have vegan options. And we have corn on the cob.
I ate whatever you had out
corn.
there. So.
Yeah, the corn was actually my very favorite because that corn grill.
Yeah.
You think about what good food that is for running because you got it's sort of a carbs and it's good and tasty.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
anyway.
so and that's one thing I'm blessed with is my stomach is fine. So I made it help too. And I did finish with an overly friendly beer when I broke the record. I had it in that last loop because I remember I had 4 minutes before I could start doing the little quarter mile out and back, and so I had a beer.
So funny.
So it was good.
I know. It was nice. It was my birthday, and I really enjoyed the people that came out. So it was really neat. So we just encourage you if you ever think about wanting to do a race or see how you would do or test out your equipment and look it up. We'll be back next year.
It's for a good cause, very good cause.
Yeah.
We actually one of the talking about the cross country team, West Middle team. One of the families is a beneficiary of Dream Factory, and I think the sibling is on the cross country team. So
yeah, I think it affects so many people. I remember Tommy telling me but you all can look up more information about the Dream Factory. But 70% of the kids their dream is to go to Disney World, which you can see that. I would not have known that I would ever have thought that, but they create all kinds of dreams. But they have a whole little village down there that somebody has built where families can go and stay and then go to Disney World.
Oh,
and so
okay.
this helps to fund that and send the families.
Yeah,
to
well, I
go.
mean, there's
So
lots
it's
of
really
properties. I can see that.
Cool. Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
really cool. Yeah. Well, Jerry, thank you so much.
Okay.
It
Well,
was
cheers.
good. Cheers. Yeah.